Hi, this is Zach Keenan from the KSC Equinox. Oh, Censorship is defined as the prohibition or suppression of books, film, news, or any kind of type of media that is deemed offensive or obscene. But has the level of kind of censorship that has been happening recently gone too far? Today, we're going to ask students what they think and get their opinions on censorship. This is the Chirp. What do you think of censorship, or what's your opinion on censorship?
I feel like censorship is just one of those things that not everyone's going to agree on. But I think when it comes to schools and libraries and stuff like that, it really should just not exist. We're kind of just taking away education from students.
It is a very controversial topic currently. It makes me very wary and very worried. I think a lot back to what happened a lot pre-Holocaust, book burnings, going into libraries, and really trying to see what is and what isn't okay for people to be reading, but who is deciding that? And that's the real question there.
I think it's good for general audiences, so if you're gonna have kids and stuff. But other than that, I feel like if you know what you're getting yourself into, you don't need it.
I'm in general anti-censorship. I feel like it's often a tool used by people who want to limit information because of often backwards views, and because of that, it just means that information isn't available to people to know more about the world.
What do you think of kind of people in positions of power who kind of withhold or censor information from the public?
I feel like a lot of the times when it comes from people in positions of power, it's usually biased. It's what they think should be withheld, and they're not necessarily thinking of the people they're withholding it from, and they're kind of just using their power for things that aren't necessarily good.
Well, knowledge is power, and what they're doing by censoring certain books is they're removing people's ability to have power over their own lives in a lot of ways. Certain information is very liberating, and by censoring certain things, you are pretty much, being an oppressive force.
I think it's a similar answer to what I said before. There's certain things that if I was a kid, I wouldn't want to hear just on the news, but I think you also need to be aware of what's going on.
That I really don't like. I think information should be available, but I think, it's just valuable that people are able to learn as much as they can. And when people censor things like that, it's often because they don't want an informed public. They want to further something that requires people to not know something. And I'm just very wary of people in positions of power who do that.
If you could control censorship, if you had all the control, you could choose what is censored or what's not censored, what would you choose to censor?
That's a hard question. I feel like I would choose to censor things that are actually harming people. If it was, I'm trying to think, information that would directly harm a group of people, I guess. But I feel like lots of the times the things that are being censored are things that shouldn't be censored, particular books that have queer main characters and stuff like that. We have people in position to censor those things, and that power is just being taken away from them.
I personally don't want to be in a place of power. I think that power can be very corruptive, and I am going to choose what I can and can't view, but that's my own personal choice. I don't want to make decisions for other people.
You want to be in control of your own censorship.
Yeah, for sure. I stray away from certain topics because they might be, things that I don't enjoy or don't want to read. But overall, I look at things from my own perspective, and I make decisions based on what I like from my own perspective. I'm not going to make decisions for other people, and I am always wary of power and positions of power, making decisions for others.
Again, I keep having the same answer, but I think if it's for a general audience, maybe bleep some stuff. But if you know what you're getting yourself into, you've opened the floodgates. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of kids who say, I almost just swore, see, they say they shouldn't say. So, yeah.
I don't know that I'd choose to censor much of anything. I would try and have things be available, but I think the key component is to make sure that people learn as much as they can, make sure that people are willing to read more than just a headline, as it were.
Well, that's been the Chirp for this week. Thanks for watching.